Hi guys, this is Mrs. Guzman. We're going to talk about the volume of composite three-dimensional figures. 8.13, 5th grade. A composite solid can be made by putting two or more rectangular prisms together. To find the volume of a composite like this, we divide it into two individual prisms. Here's the same figure divided into two rectangular prisms. Now I don't have to divide it this way. I can also divide it this way. Notice either way we're going to come up with the same answer when we're looking for volume. Basically all this is two equations. We're going to think about this. Let's say I'm looking for the volume of this rectangular prism. I can basically look at this as two equations. One that is here and one that is here. Remember, we use this formula, length times width times height. So here is our length, 9 inches, times the width. Now I know that if the width on this side is 5 inches, the width on this side is also 5 inches, times the height, which is my 3 inches. 9 times 5 is 45, times 3. Again, we have to do multiplication. 45 times 3, 15, 12 plus 1 is 13, 135 cubic inches. And I can write that as, so now I've got one side, and I'm going to write that right over here so I can remember what that answer was. And I'm going to work on the other side. So same thing, length, let's change that color. Length times width times height. And my length this time is not this full length here. I have to take away something. I'm going to take away these 3 inches. So 15 minus 3 gives me 12 times my width, which is again 5, times my height, which I know is going to be 3, and I multiply that. So 12 times 5 is 60, times 3, which gives me 180 inches cubed. So now we're going to add these. 135 plus 180 gives me 315 inches cubed. The biggest thing I have to remember here is the length here is not this full length. I had to subtract part of the length, which was 3 inches. So 15 minus 3 is where I got that 12 for my length. So I'm going to look at this same figure, only divided differently. So I'm going to start with my formula again, length times width times height, and I'm going to take this blue first. 15 times 5 times 3. So 15 times 5 times 3 is going to give me 225 inches cubed. And now I'm going to look at the second figure, which is this figure here. I know that I have 3 inches here, and I have 9 inches here. This 9 inches covers this full length that's here. So I'm going to subtract 3 inches off of that length. So again, length times width times height. 9 minus 3 is 6, so I have 1 part. Now I can take my 3 here, 3 here, and I know I still have 5 inches in depth because it tells me here that it's 5 inches. So 6 times 3 times 5 is 90 inches cubed. I'm going to add them both together. 225 plus 90 gives me 315 inches cubed. So it really is like 2 problems, adding them together. So take the length times width times height of one figure. Remember, you're going to have to do some subtracting when you have a piece that intrudes on another part of the figure. This was Volume of Composite Figures by Mrs. Guzman.